We are live. So, welcome to Two Queens and Crystal Things. This is the podcast where we are on some manifest your life, shift your mind, and raise the consciousness type of shit.
And we need it is necessary.
Yes, I'm Christy.
And I am Mia, and you can consider us your spiritual girlfriends for the next couple few minutes.
couple few minutes. So we ended 2020 with an episode on forgiveness.
Hallelujah.
Man, how many of you needed that? I know I did.
No, I was just say that was. Woo,
I had to let go of some shit.
Right on time.
Sorry, Mommy, if you're listening. But the major takeaways here are, number one, so forgiveness of others does not excuse their behavior. You know, there's that whole thing where forgive and forget. You don't have to forget. You really don't. But basically, so forgiving others and not, it doesn't not excuse their behavior, but it just stops it from further causing you pain. Mm-hmm. And so this is something I mentioned too, but so it actually benefits you 100 times more than it does the person who hurts you. And so forgiveness of self, and this is something we touched on too.
This is a big one.
Forgiveness of self, which is exceedingly more difficult, allows you to separate yourself from your mistakes and move forward with less of the burden.
Yes.
Because when you don't forgive, you are actually living in the past.
Yes.
And so one of the things that we are talking about is when you allow yourself to forgive other people and yourself, you are then able to move forward in the present, in the future. So yeah, that's the recap on what we last talked about. So Mia, what are we talking about today?
First of all, guys, this is our first episode for the new year.
Oh my gosh.
It
feels like forever. I'm like, how do we do this again?
Wait, Kristen, we literally took a week off. And we over here like, wait, what had happened? Wait, how do we do this?
Man, so much has happened.
Happy New Year, you guys.
Happy
it's
New Year.
You know, we record on Wednesdays and we post on Fridays. So today is the 13th.
Yes.
And so,
my favorite day, recording day.
We are going to discuss today how to shake off 2020.
Oh my goodness.
And embrace this opportunity of newness. So, we've seen all the memes, you guys, with, basically, I actually love them. They're like 2020 showing 2021 around. Mm-hmm. And so we're calling it how to not make 2021 your hangover for 2020, So even though it's 2021, it didn't necessarily start off feeling like a fresh start, okay? Maybe I'm just speaking for me.
I know, a lot of people are like, 2020 done carried over.
Wait, I saw one, it said, 2020 part 2 or something.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, they're great, but this is the thing. We want to talk about, this is a perfect opportunity to be reminded of one of the greatest lessons I'll tell you that I've ever learned, is that control what you can, which is yourself, and release what you can't, which is anything outside of you. Mm-hmm. So we want to just kind of get in and talk about how we can move forward in 2021 and kind of shake that hangover, So let's get into it.
Let's get into it.
So, okay, you guys, so you know how this is. I love this this phrase, new year, new me. Mm-hmm. So, we all have these expectations that when a new year starts, that it's like a freshness. Yep. And there's an automatic, like, okay, everything that happens is gone, deceased, and dead. I have moved forward. And when we put those expectations on ourselves, first of all, it's not real. Mm-hmm. And then when we're so disappointed when we wake up on January 1st.
Right. It's like, where's the new me?
It's like, what happened now?
Where's the new me? Where's the new body?
So I will tell you what my expectations that I've learned to be better about. Like, I'm not even going to lie, y'all. January 31st, I think I was in bed and sleep by 10 o'clock.
Oh, yeah. I slept through. I didn't make it past 10 o'clock. But
a lot of people, including myself, will have these expectations that when a new year starts, that you change, that it's a new you and you get to start fresh. So I think this year, just because of where I am in my journey, I knew better. But there's still a part of me that when I woke up on the 1st, I was still disappointed that it's like, damn, it's
right.
It's literally just another, grateful for it, but it's just another day.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have any expectations when, what were your thoughts? Like, okay,
I had no expectations. So I will say that before the new year, I always plan like, okay, what do I want the next year to look like? Mm-hmm. I don't say, oh, well, I'm going to run 10 miles a week. I don't set those type of things. I just kind of have like, okay, what is my theme for the year? And so this year's theme is me. It's moi. It's moi. So this year's theme is me. Self-love, focusing on myself, loving myself, putting my attention to myself, and really making sure that I'm putting myself first. Mm-hmm. And so that was the theme. So my 2021's theme is me. It is self. So I don't have like, this is what I'm going to do for the new year. Like, I mean, sometimes I'll say, okay, I want to pay off this debt, or I want to have this taken care of. But for this year, during my meditation, my guides were like, no, you have a theme, and your theme is about you. Focusing on you.
We're gonna talk about that too in the episode. In this episode, I think more than anything, especially, we've learned so much. 2020 has taught us
a lot
collectively.
A lot. Oh my gosh,
so much. But one of the major things of 2020 is there's a lot going on in the world that we have no control over, and it reminds us again, like, what we do, what we can control. So I know for me, it definitely made me focus more on like, girl, what you gonna waste your time being so upset about stuff that you can't control? So focus on you.
Right.
I will say, I think there was a part of me. I mean, keeping it 100 with you guys, like we do. I think there was a part of me that, even though Spirit told me what was going to happen, and what's still happening, I think there was a part of me that was just like, can we just get like 5 minutes, just like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
No.
Just 5 moments.
Fifth.
Just please, of just peace.
Right.
And it's almost like, oh, you want peace? Let me show you the complete opposite of it.
But can I say something real quick? I'm sorry to interrupt you. But I will say that 2020 taught me to find peace in the midst of a storm. I think that's like the biggest thing. Like, and so I will say that I have, like, my skin is thick. Yeah. So if I know, like, if I can find peace in the middle of a shitstorm, then I'm good. And I think that I can say that for most people.
And I think that goes to being present.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Look, I'm like that. That just like, like, okay, wait a minute, hold on. Let me just be present in this moment. Not worry about what's going to happen.
Yep.
Or not, kill that. Or not think about.
She has been drinking wine, you guys.
Well, I mean, we always have enough.
But it's so good. It's Chianti.
It keeps the throat chakra lubricated.
It's for the heart chakra,
We just trying to spread the love with the proper vibration.
Yes.
I'm just like, okay, she's ready. But to be, not worry about, what's happened is done. It's over.
Right.
And there's no need to worry about what's going to happen in the future, because we don't know necessarily what's going to happen in the future. So sometimes it helps to be present. But one of the things, we talked about expectations, that people bring into the new year. Here's the thing that we keep forgetting. You are still you. Mm-hmm. You, everywhere you go, you are there. Mm-hmm. So if there's an expectation that everything for you is going to change in the new year, you have to remember, if you haven't changed, why would why would your life change?
That is facts. Can you say that again, please?
Factual.
Say it for the people in the back, please.
You have not changed. Why do you believe that everything around you is going to change? A date does not change anything.
Right.
So, and I know a lot, and I mean, we've talked to a lot of women in our healing, and, you know, a lot of women hit us up, you know, regarding the things that we talk about. And I know a lot of people kicked off their spiritual journey.
And in 2020.
Because
forced them.
2020 put you on your ass.
Right.
So,
it did.
Hold on. Sis. let me
sit down.
Let me holler at you for a minute. But one thing I would say for me, and I'm so curious what you say about this, recognizing your patterns. Just how you respond to things and how you are in relationship. Not necessarily romantic relationship, just like in relationship. How you are with your community, how you see the world, and how you react to stuff. 2020 may put in front of me, front and center, like, what? Look at yourself. Like, I start looking at the common denominator of things that happen, and it's like, oh, bitch.
No, bitch.
That would be you.
Yeah. Okay, and you can probably attest to this. So 2020, I think, 2020 was rough. I mean, there's no denying that. 2020 was a good year for me, though. Mm-hmm. But I will say that one of the things that it showed me was that I cannot control anything outside of myself. I can only control me, and I can only control how I respond.
So do you think that in 2020 you realized that, that you realized that in the past you didn't recognize that, and so it, you know what I mean? Like,
well, so I've always been like, I want to control things, and I think a lot of people do. Like, of course, we want to control things in our favor. I think that's just human nature.
Cheers.
But I will say that 2020 showed me the only thing that you can absolutely control is you and how you respond.
Ooh, child. So
when things would come to me that was beyond my control, I just let it roll off. Like, it was just like, you know, I was water and they were oil, or whatever the situation was oil, and it just rolled off because I can't control that. And I think 2020 taught me how to almost, I don't want to say master, but 2020 really taught me how to focus on what I can control.
Yep. So I would say, if I'm like being straight up honest, 2020 made me realize how I am in relationships, and just in terms of my pattern there, which, and so it's so apropos that we talked about forgiveness of self in our last episode, because it did take some forgiving for me, because what I realized, what I've done, and I think it's a protection mechanism.
Yeah.
And what I've done in a lot of relationships is I haven't allowed myself, we were just talking about this, I haven't allowed myself to be completely vulnerable and free, but it's because I was so afraid of what would happen if you don't. So it's like, I was smart enough to make it seem like I was all in, but I always, I mean, honestly, like I
almost so like you were a step ahead.
Yeah, like, But you know, but sometimes when you don't allow yourself to go all in, and just whatever happens is going to happen, you're missing some of the good stuff too, you know. And so it's like I'm almost waiting for the other shoe to drop. So I always had, you know, a toe over the line or 1 foot out. So it'd be very simple for me, like, oh, well, fuck you.
Yeah.
I don't need it. And so it was protection though. In 2020. As you know, as you're sitting, because we were home, well, you know, there's not much you can do. It's not that much damn Netflix to watch. Like, real talk. And you know, and you guys know, because I'm single, it's not like I had necessary distraction. It's just, you know, I had my 9-year-old boss, and you know,
she is the boss.
It's like just the whole thing. And so, it was a lot of reflection time. So there were certain patterns that I recognized in myself. And you know, I don't care where you are in your spiritual journey, it's still very difficult to acknowledge your own fuck-ups. And I wouldn't even necessarily call it a fuck-up, it's just like acknowledge where there are places in your life where you made yourself the victim.
Right.
Because it's so much easier to say, you know, well, they did this or they did that, and that's why I can be like that. It's like, no, you walked in the door like that. And that's real talk.
That's
2020 like made me it did that for me, and I had to just be honest with myself about that. But then it that was another layer of, oh, this is something else we have to forgive ourselves for. And I say this all the time.
Something else to work on.
Healing it comes in waves. It's multidimensional. You'll heal something, you're like, ooh, that felt good. And then that same type of issue will come back. It doesn't mean that you're regressing. It's just you have moved forward, and now the universe is like, hey, I need you to revisit this and see it in a different light and see what you can learn about yourself. So that was one of my patterns that came front and center with me. Like, just no, for real, look at this. Do you think you had any patterns that kind of came front and center for you?
That's a really great question. That's like, I'm really trying to think about it. Yeah, so I recognize some patterns about myself in terms of relationships and relationships with men.
Girl.
Just, and 2020, I did question myself a lot. Like, why did I choose the men that I chose? Mm-hmm. Or even still now, like, why do I choose the men that I choose? Like, why do I choose the situations that I'm in? And we're going to talk about power of choice.
But Chrissy, think about that. We've talked about this before. Relationships are a mirror, and so when you get to the point where you understand that the people that you choose in your life are mirroring a part or a piece of you, and you know that, and then you start looking back like, so hold on, what does this mean about me?
Right.
So
when you see something in someone that makes you feel angry or it doesn't make you feel good, realize that they're bringing up something that you... yes. How many times have we quoted him?
Seriously.
Yes. But I think, that's important, to be able to recognize that and, acknowledging your triggers.
Girl, that part. Baby, I was triggered as fuck. Like, first of all, at the beginning of this year.
Ooh.
And okay. Oh, I got the perfect
trigger.
When I see your face. In our last episode, we talked about forgiveness. And I told the story about, if y'all can see this, her tapping it bottom of the wine glass.
Mia made me this way.
The last drop out. We had talked about, I told the story about, the philosopher telling the teacher, the student about carrying around the rotten potatoes.
Oh, yeah.
And remember, and I said, and it goes a little bit deeper.
Yeah.
We talk about releasing the bag because that's, something else. And so I've been working on it. The only way that people can hurt you or feel like you've done you wrong is because you have an image of who you are and you feel like they are an affront to that. Like, this is who I believe I am, so you're fucking with my ego. How dare you do this or that? It doesn't match with who I believe myself to be. So, and that's the sack. So that's when you put the potatoes in there to say, hey, you've wronged me. So
Can I say
was
something
very
real quick?
triggered. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry. So there was this video that I was watching, and he said something. He said, the more you let go of who you think you need to be, the more you become you. Mm-hmm. And I will say that was a pattern that I recognized in 2020, is that I was constantly living in a space where
I'm supposed to.
Right. And then I had to let that go. I had to let that die.
That's real. Yes. But that's a trigger for you, though, too.
Yeah.
And beginning of the year, all the things that happened on the Capitol. Mm-hmm. And there's so much rhetoric about,
think those police let them
what's going on with the Trumpers and the anti-Trumpers and all this. And I found myself being really triggered. Mm-hmm. And then it starts setting off other things that, that I'm triggered about. But then I remembered, hold on, sis. When you're judging people, there's something going on with you. There's a piece of you that you have not resolved yet.
Right.
There's some place where you're judging yourself. And I was like, oh shit. And sometimes you're like, but like some people are fucked up. Like how can I'm allowed to judge them. They're a fucked up person. But you know, real talk, we've all done some things in our life.
All like done fucked up shit.
Like real talk. And so we're all learning and growing. So acknowledging what my triggers were or are has been, and like honestly, what's that, 13th? And I was just telling this to Christy. It's like, you know, I have been very triggered. I've fear. I've allowed fear to kind of come in. Like, you know, I mean, I've been anxious and nervous and scared. And then it's like, and I know better. It's like, okay, hold on. What are you worried about? Something that could possibly happen. And what's next? And then because I'm a creative bitch, I can take something that I'm looking, and I will literally write the whole story in my head of what's going to happen next, and I can't even control it. And then, you know, there'll be that part of me like, sit down. What are you doing? Like, this is not your story. Your story is you, and you out here trying to say what's going to happen, and then you're reacting to that in your mind, and you're creating fear in yourself about what could possibly happen with our country and with people. It's going to be a war. It's going to be. Sit your motherfucking ass down.
And when you do that, you're not living in the present moment.
Exactly. I'm literally living in what could happen. I'm not even here. I'm all in tomorrow and the next day and the next month.
Next year.
But it made me stop and say, okay, why are you triggered? What's going on with you? And I think, and I would say for me, one of the triggers that I had to confront, and it's so crazy. I'm like, we back on this, is the living up to expectations of what I thought I was supposed to be. There's still a piece of that. Supposed to be what I should be. You know, I tell people all the time, like, stop shoulding on your life. I shoulda, and I should, and I should. It's like, stop doing that, but it still creeps back in. So, and the reason I think it's so important for us to say this to people is, when you're going through your process and you're like, okay, I'm good, and then something comes back, you think, oh my God, I'm taking 10 steps back. I was so good, like, oh my God, how did I get here? It's like, don't beat yourself up about that. You know what I mean? Like, it happens, but the reason it's coming back up is because you're in a different place, and Spirit is like, oh, okay, you've learned some things. I want you to go back and look at this with new eyes and new wisdom. Right. But I was triggered as hell. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. Like, I mean, not real talk. I would say, since the beginning of the year, I have not left my house except for to go to the gym. And when I say I walk, like, the building I live in, my parking deck is across like a very small street. I'm walking outside, and I'm like the anxiety, and I'm so scared because there's all these carjackings, and you know. And all these things, and I'm just like, I just need to get home. I just want to get to the gym and get home. And once I get back home, I literally don't leave my house. That's what Uber Eats is for, Instacart. Like, I'm dead serious. Yeah,
but I think this is important for us to share, because this lets other people know, this lets our listeners know that we say this all the time. We are work in progress. We are a work in progress.
We're in this journey with you.
Yes, we are not above.
It's like, no, and like,
we have struggles.
I just want to keep it real with people, because I think that especially with women, we're so much better about it now, thank God. But I think with women, we don't share when we're going through things. And when we're trying to grow and so emotional because we feel that shame. So then when somebody else feels that, we feel like I'm alone in this. Yeah. Like, so I can't say anything. Nobody's going to understand it. And it's just me. And we're just saying, you're not alone. Yeah.
Especially if you're like the strong person, like in your group. I mean, I don't say that I have a circle of friends. I say I have like a dot, but
you said a dot.
I've always been that person. I mean, usually friends will come to me about stuff. I rarely come to people about things because, one, I don't want to be a burden.
Oh my God.
It's stupid.
Oh my. Chrissy, can we talk about that?
I know.
Why do we jump in the heads of the people who love us and support us, and like I know for a fact that I do this. Just the other day, we were at the gym, and I was just like, and she's like, what's going on? I'm like, I can't, I don't want to talk about it because I don't want to, I literally felt like, okay, you know, and I didn't jump all into your life. Like, okay, she just moved and, you know, she got the new puppy. You know what I mean? Like, and it's just like, I don't want to put my shit on, you know, her. It's just like, I can't talk about it right now. And it's not like me expressing and saying like, bitch, I'm kind of fucked up right now. Like, I'm all in my mood is necessarily putting a burden on, you know, a friend, your support system. It's just we have to get out of other people's business,
right?
And especially when somebody comes to you and says, "Hey, sis, what's up? Like, what's going on with you? Are you looking kind of?
You all right?
You all right?
You good?
There? And you know, and you gotta, you know, trust in your heart that the people who are there for you are there for you.
Mm-hmm.
When sometimes it's hard, but you know, as women, we gotta stop making it seem like everything is good. I'm fine. It's great. Oh my God, my life is amazing. It's awesome. It's great. And then what happens is. And then someone else who's going through this, like, okay, well, I need to shut up then because I'm not great right now. I'm not okay.
Right.
Real talk. But yeah, you know.
Because I will say that the move and like all of that transition. Because honestly, for those of you who know and don't know, whatever, I moved and it was not necessarily expected. So I was gone. I was stressed. I was anxious. I was nervous. I was worried. And I really didn't want to be a burden to other people. So I was just like, well, I'm going to have to go through this on my own.
And see, and we do that to each other. But we'll be quick. And look, I'm like, and all my light workers and healers out there, shame on all of us because we'll be quick to tell. I mean, I swear.
To tell other people. To tell other people.
Like, lean on your support system. They're there for a reason. But we'll be quick to tell people, like, you have love around you. Accept it. And sometimes you just can't see it in yourself. And I was like, I'm being honest. Like, I was tripping. Yeah. I was just like, I don't, like, the panic and sometimes it's not like, I'm not asking you to, I would tell you for me, I felt like if I say like kind of what's going on to me, I don't want you to think I want you to fix it for me, like I'm being like I'm weak or like, oh, woe is me. But sometimes just saying it out loud allows you to hear yourself. Mm-hmm. You're just like, wait a minute, hold on. Actually, I do have this, but sometimes you need to say it out loud and without jumping in other people's head. If someone asks you, hey, babe, you good? You going? Sometimes you just need to be honest. Like, yeah, actually, no.
So I will say, when I moved and a couple of people reached out to me and offered to help like pack up and you offered to help me unpack. Initially, I'm that person that's like, oh no, I'm okay. I'm fine. But then I got to the point where I was like, fuck it. I need help. Yes, I'm stressed. Can you come? Thank you. I'm not going to.
Christy, wait, this is funny. I told Chris, I said, okay, I'm not part of the packing crew, but I will go to your house. I will bust down.
And she did.
I will clean. I will help you unpack. I said, I can't do the unpack.
Bust it down.
I will clean and all that. But, you know, it's just being, and this is the thing, real talk. We talked about this before, blocking your somebody
blessings.
Else's blessings.
Right.
For me to be able to provide that help to my friends makes me feel good. So,
and I needed it.
You know what I mean? Especially when you know that, you know, and like sometimes it just feels good to help somebody else. And I would tell you one way to get out of your own feelings about whatever's going on.
And your own funk.
And your own funk is to focus on somebody else. It's service. Yep. So to me, it's like service. And you guys, you know, well, I've talked about it before. Like service to me it makes me feel good. It makes me, it reminds me of my purpose that, you know, that I'm here for a reason. So if Chris would have been like, you know, no, you know, I don't need it or, you know, kind of whatever. It's just like, okay, I know you need it. Stop playing. You know what I mean? But, you know, you don't want to block someone else's blessings who's just there to bless your life.
Right. And that's another thing too, because so me always being the person like, oh, I don't need help, I'm fine. Mm-hmm. But then when someone offers the assistance, I realize that is a blessing in and of itself.
Yes.
Not only to me, but also to that person. And so I've started changing the way that I think about when people offer help, like, oh, I'm weak, I'm poor, or I can't do it for myself, so people have to help me.
They look at me like I need help.
Right.
Like, do I look like I need help?
But then once I switched it, and I was like, well, no, this is the universe blessing me, and then they're going to be blessed in return. So I'm like, who am I to block that?
Like
so right.
I'm gonna tell you what the issue. Okay, so what I still struggle with is when they asking for help. For me, asking for help, that's still something that's a little difficult for me. That's something that's still difficult for me, is asking for help.
Right. I'm not good at asking for help.
It's because I start jumping to other people's heads. Like, they're going to look at me like this, or they're going to think this. And
poor baby.
We have to embrace your support system, guys. It's there for a reason.
Embrace it.
So another thing is, in order to move forward, like, New Year, sometimes we have to look back on our life and acknowledge and celebrate our growth. So you might not be where you want to be, but you're not where you've been.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, you're not in the same spot. You have moved forward. And sometimes we have this goal in our mind. I have to have this or be this or if I'm not there, then I'm not where I'm supposed to be. But we don't see the steps that we've made to get there.
Right.
And sometimes you got to be there.
You do. And I think it's also important to celebrate the small wins. So just being able to acknowledge where you were and where you are, and celebrate and like pat yourself on the back for, even if it was like 2 steps forward, just being able to acknowledge that you were able to take those 2 steps forward, and realize that it may not have been 20 steps forward, but at least you made some progress.
You're not in the same place.
Right.
Hold on, real quick. Hand her that clean stuff so she can, the stuff that she. So we're over here. Christy got a new puppy. It's obvious. It's like real talk. Sidebar. The cutest in the towel. The cutest little puppy ever. His name is Brantley. No, on the bed.
On the bed.
Sorry, guys. And he's 9 weeks, so she's in the middle of what do you call that?
Potty training.
Potty training.
Yeah.
And Jade is babysitting, so he had a little tinkle. I'm like, girl, clean up. Look, I'm like, you want this allowance money? Clean up.
Right.
He says you want the babysit, but he's so cute. Okay.
But celebrating the small wins, because he did pee outside before we came in.
Oh, he's 9 weeks old. Christy, like, good Lord, he's the cutest.
I know.
It's potty training time. In a couple months, you're gonna look back and forget that this was a thing.
Yep.
So what's next? But yeah, so celebrating that you're not where you were, and don't beat yourself up for not being where you believe that you should be, because then you're.
Isn't that crazy how we do that?
Oh my good girl!
It's like, well, I should be here. Like,
Baby.
I am 43 or I am 45 years old, and this is what.
List. Oh, and you know how I had to check myself when I started off with exactly what you said. But you 43 years old, you should ding 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 or ding ding, and I'm like, okay, wait. According
you
to
shouldn't
who?
do anything, right? According to whom?
Whom? And according to what? Where did you get that from? That's where we're putting somebody else's expectations of who we are and where we should be in our lives. And then, again, we've talked about this before. When you're looking at everybody, it seems like everybody else, especially if you look at social media.
Social media, they show you what they want to show you. I mean, it's like, seriously. What do I want to, okay, I'm here at a fancy restaurant in a cute little outfit. I'm going to let people think that I'm flossing, and, so yeah, you don't get caught up in that.
Don't get caught up in it.
All right, so commit to yourself in 2021.
What are we going to do in 2021?
So for 2021, so I also had a reading. So me and I had a reading from the same guy. His name is Tony. He is amazing.
Hey, wait, let me remind people. Healers need healing, y'all. Christy and I both provide healing services and we go to other healers.
Yes, we do.
We believe in the power of, and we allow ourselves to be able to. We allow ourselves, and Christy and I would do healing sessions on each other. Just like it's acknowledging that, okay, I'm in a place, I'm in a funk, and sometimes it's hard to see yourself.
I feel unbalanced. Help me.
I don't feel good.
Or I need direction. Like I don't think it was the last podcast that we recorded, but it was one of the podcasts where it was the one. I think it was the one before because we were having technical issues and we couldn't record. Yes! So you were like, you had some new cards and you're like, I'm just gonna give you a reading. I'm gonna practice on these cards. I'm like, yes, please, because I need some guidance.
And you gotta but commit. So this year, 2021.
2021 is about me.
So you said 2020 is about you.
Mm-hmm.
So what does that mean, though?
So it is really focusing on my well-being, my mental health, balance, love, like self-love. So Tony, one of the things that he mentioned, because
this was the reading.
Yeah. So he basically confirmed this. So, during my meditation before 2021, my guys were telling me that the theme of 2021 is about me and like putting myself first and making sure that I am taken care of first. So basically, like when you are on the airplane, I am taking the air first, taking the oxygen first, and then I'm able to help someone else. So that is 2021 for me. And what he said is, 2021, people are going to start reaching out to you and pull on you for certain things, but you have to recognize that you have to focus on you first. So there are going to be some times where you're going to have to say no. And it's going to be okay. It will be all right. And I was like, okay, I'm down.
I think about 2021. So first, because I journal all the time, I talk
all
about
the time, y'all.
So I got myself a good little giggle looking back on what I wrote for the beginning of 2020.
Oh, really?
Baby, all the giggles. All the giggles. Just because what I realized that the intentions that I set for myself were things that I didn't have control over. Were things
like what? What's an example?
So, that things that are outside of me. So, for instance, I would say instead of because the way that I said it is different than the way that it should be said. It could have been said. So, for instance, the same goal, but just the way that I spoke it was different. So, at the time, I was like, okay, I want a job where I'm able to do this, provide this, make this type of money, etc. All these things that I wanted with this job, but I'm still putting it on somebody else to provide me this position to create this thing that doesn't necessarily exist. And what 2020 taught me is like, but you have the power to create that for yourself.
Yes.
So it's not necessarily different. It's just the way that I went about it was, this is going to fall in my lap as opposed to me empowering myself. Like, you're going to create a situation where you're able to make this type of money, provide this type of service, feel this type of way, and,
and not rely on anyone else.
Exactly. But, just when I look back, it's like I still, the goals are still the same. It's like in terms of what I want out of it. It's just that now I'm not thinking that I need it from somebody else. It's just like, so what I think is, so the way that I think about it now is, so say somebody says, okay, I want a man in 2021. Like, everybody talk about, I want a boo, where's love of my life,
Do you?
blah, blah, blah. And so, I think that another way for people to just consider thinking about it is, what do you want from the relationship? Not necessarily, not what does this person do and what do they look like, but what do you want from the relationship? And then when you break that down, the feeling that you get and what you want from it, and then you say, okay, I'm providing that for myself. literally be that for Mia. And then that's a whole, because that I can control.
Mm-hmm.
And then, we talk about energy attracts energy.
Right.
So now when I'm providing that for myself, everything that's coming to me is meeting that. So instead of saying, I'm ready for the love of my life, it's be the love of your life.
And we've talked about that before. Everything that you're looking for in life, you find within yourself first, and then it comes to you.
So for me, this I think just like you, it's it's definitely about self, but I think it's about honoring fully the power that I have to create my world. And so I'll say this, you guys, it's not. So I'm not saying to abandon the fact, these things that you necessarily can't control, but what I want people to think about is not the thing, but what it does for you in your life. Mm-hmm. So let's say you're like, okay, I want to make $250,000 a year. Okay, cool. Why do you want to make $250,000 a year? What is that going to provide for you? Right. So it's like, okay, because I want X, Y, and Z, or I want to buy the new Tesla. I don't know. You know what I mean? Whatever it is. But why do you want to buy the new Tesla? It's because, I want the security. I want to feel like I'm good. I don't have to worry about finances. It's like, okay. All right, so now you're getting down to the bottom line. It's not that you necessarily want a new car or this much money. It's just that I want to feel secure in my fucking life. Mm-hmm. I don't want to have to worry about anything. And so when you break it down to that, then you're like, okay, that I can do right now. I can stop worrying. I can literally affirm I am secure in my life. I am covered. The universe looks out for me wherever I go. So when you start to do that, all the things that you literally want start to come. But if you're making it like somebody needs to pay me this, you're disempowering yourself. Right. It's like, no, what do you want? What do you want that money for? Mm-hmm. And be honest with yourself. It's like, okay, well, because I want people to think, that I'm good. Okay, then don't stop there. Ask yourself, why do you want people? You know what I mean? So when you really then get down to the basics of whatever it is, then you say, but I can start doing that piece now. Mm-hmm.
I always think of like the larger picture. Yeah. And then, think about the larger picture and then like break it down into like the smallest possible molecule. Like why?
Like what exactly?
What is it?
Why do I want that? Why do I feel like I want a new relationship? Or why do I feel like I need to live this place? Or why do I feel like, what is it about that I feel like that's going to give me? And sometimes and I've definitely done this before, when I make it about a number or a thing, when I get it, because I'm not focused on the reason that I want it, I don't even recognize or celebrate that I got what I said that I wanted, because I didn't. You know what I mean? It's just like, oh, okay, cool. Now I got that. Now let me get this.
And see, and that's where...
And now you're chasing something, and you never stop to say, wait a minute, hold on. What do I really want?
And then that also keeps you from living in the present. Because I think when you don't live in the present, it does not allow you to fully embrace and fully receive what is coming to you. Like every day, and I think that's also where gratitude comes in. Like every day I wake, like even on the way here, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so grateful for my life. I'm grateful for the experiences I've had, even the bad ones. I am so grateful. But I think once you live in that present moment, it allows you to better receive. But if you're constantly like, okay, on to the next,
it's like
you lose sight.
Real talk. You're checking boxes.
Right.
I wanna. If you're a realtor,
check your intention.
These many houses. If I'm a salesman, I want to make this much commission. I'm asking everyone to just go just a little bit deeper. But why do I want that?
Right.
It's like, okay, because I want to buy this house. Okay, cool. Why do you want that?
What's the house going to provide for you?
What is the house going to provide for you? And when you really get down to what it really is for you, you find out I can do that no matter where I am in my life, because it all comes down to an emotion and a feeling that you can do for yourself. So that's just reminding you what you can control.
Yep.
Cheers and jeers. Yes.
Yes.
Wait, do you ever watch what's her name? Tabitha Brown?
Excuse me, I got the hiccups. I've seen her.
because she's so funny to me. When she's doing these videos, she's cooking these vegan meals, and some of the stuff she makes, I'm like, wait, I need to try that. And the way I love, she has, first of all, the most beautiful teeth, Christy. Oh my God.
I know, I've seen her. Yeah.
Jeez, her skin is gorgeous, and she's when she's cooking, she's like, and do this like right there because that's my business. And I was laughing at myself because when I was cooking last night, when I say I get in the zone when I'm in the kitchen, I got the music on, I have me a glass of wine because that's my business. Mm-hmm. And so I was laughing at myself like I'm literally over here quoting because
that's my business.
Because that's my business. And I was literally, as I was seasoning, I put that right there, a little something right there. Do that right there because that's my business. But I don't know how I got on that. But it's just, enjoying the small stuff, Control what you can because it's your business.
Yeah. And honestly, the only thing that you can control is you. Mm-hmm. And how you respond to the things or people outside of you.
Now, but let's keep it 100.
Yes.
There's a lot of shit going on. Like real talk.
Yes.
No. What the hotter? There's so many things going on outside of us. And because we are human and we're in this space and we're in this world and we're on this planet, we chose to be here for a reason.
Yes, we chose, y'all.
And watching some of the things that are happening, especially in our country, is so disheartening. Excuse me, not disheartening. Jesus Christ, Lord, yeah. It's so disheartening. It's hard to. I should say it's very easy to get kind of swept up in with everything that's going on. So because we are in this world and we want to be real with people. We're not just saying like, oh, we could just disconnect. Okay. We could just disconnect and be not, I cannot pay attention. Just like you can't necessarily do that completely because you're still in this world. But how do you cope and thrive in that world?
Right.
So how are you coping with the stuff that you like, for instance, so were you triggered when you saw the Capitol stuff?
No, I mean, honestly, I thought it was kind of funny. I thought it was funny.
I love your crazy. She's like, actually, I got a chuckle.
For those of you who really, really know me, know that I don't own a TV and I don't watch TV and I get my news from various sources sometimes. Various sources or people. Mia will call me. She'll be like, "Did you know that?" So sometimes, she's a source too. She's a reputable source.
Wait, let me tell you, y'all, I'm gonna keep it 100. So we talked about this before. Like I have a TV. I don't have one in my room. Like I literally have a TV in my front room, and Jay has a TV in her room, but I don't have a TV. He just scratched in his ear. Chrissy's over here watching her baby.
I'm making sure he does not pee on her rug.
Wait, so when the Capitol happened, this is literally how I found out about it. I am in my room. I had just finished this amazing meditation. I was already in it, so I was like, whew, I needed that. Like this, okay, I'm better. She's feeling good. She's better now. Jay's dad called, and he's like, hey, are you guys good down there? I'm like, yeah, we're great. What's going on? He's like, don't you know what's going on? I'm like, what? Another shooting in Chicago? Whoop-de-doo. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. He's like, are you fucking kidding me? You don't know what's going on. He's like, bitch, these people have tried to take over the damn Capitol. I'm like, what are you talking about? So that was the first time I had turned on the news in months. I'm like, for real. And I was like, oh my God. And immediately I got caught up in it. I got swept. Now I'm going to CNN, to MSNBC, to Fox News.
Isn't that crazy?
Now I'm going to because I worked in media for years, so I'm like, okay, I need to get all the sources so I can figure out what the truth is. I mean, and I did realize like, damn, that fast, that quick,
mm-hmm.
you allowed
yourself
to get swept up in it. It was ridiculous. Yeah. But I had no clue what was going on. I just walked out of the Zen like, mm-hmm. I'm over here humming, having a good time. Yes, okay. Like what? And it brought me down immediately, and I was triggered. I was emotional. I was angry, and then this is how you know when you going down the wrong route. Now I'm looking at it on social media, and I'm reading every comment on Earth.
Oh, so I was reading the comments too. But the
Woo,
comments were
child.
hilarious.
But the comments got me pissed. I'm like, why would they say that? What kind of people are these? I mean, like, I was straight on judge mode because I'd made a decision in my head. And I'm going to keep it honest. People might not like this. I had made a decision in my mind that these people were terrible people. But I will say this. Not that I agree with what they did, but as a black woman, what I can relate to is the feeling that if I've hit, you put me in a corner. What the fuck else am I supposed to do? Now, whether or not they are right or wrong in that feeling, we can all relate to it, especially as black people feeling like you're taking away something from me or you're not giving me something that I feel that I deserve or that I have a right to. Now, we're looking at like, okay, that's some privilege that you're feeling like is being taken away or whatever. But at the end of the day, we know what it feels like for something to be taken away from us or that we deserve something that we're not getting. And so that fever pitch, you know, that I feel like I have to take it into my own hands and I have to do something to make it happen. That's something I can relate to.
Yeah.
Just, you know, not necessarily for your cause, but that feeling that you have, that's something. But it took me a minute to be like, I mean, I was in all my feelings. I mean, girl, I'm reading comments. I am ticked off, like, how dare they think it, blah, blah. And you know, and I had to catch myself now, because you know, if they were black, it would have been this and this. Like, damn, like,
see,
you
the
allowed
comments
yourself
that
to go that fast. I mean, it was so quick. Like,
so the comments that I was reading was like, this is not our fight. Sit back and eat your popcorn.
Oh, now see, but that's when I go back to that. That's so funny. I said that to one of my girlfriends. Like, you know what? I had to bring myself back, baby. This is us saying, oh, you know what that feels like. Heat up that popcorn, put your feet up, because just watch.
Right.
But I allowed myself to get into that, and I had to pull myself back out, like,
But I will say that with me really being mindful of the stuff that I allow into my space, that's what has allowed me to thrive.
Chrissy, I get that. That's why I stopped watching the news. And mind you, my entire career, what I've done is media relations. For me to stop watching the news, because this is how news starts, especially in Chicago. And I noticed this. Good morning, Chicago. It's 6 a.m. The weather is this, and this weekend, 75 people
100 killings.
Girl, like, damn, we starting off with that, and then it's like, it didn't put you.
And imagine watching that 24/7.
And watching it every day starting your day with that. And then
ending your day with that.
And in the middle of the day, then President Trump tweeted at 1 a.m. this, and now I'm pissed. And then so-and-so said this, and now I'm pissed. And then I'm like, why are we killing each other? And then, like, all of that. And now that has controlled my entire day. I have lit all that energy into my life, and now I'm thinking about it. But when you're in it, again, whether it's good or bad, when you're in it, you don't realize that you're in it. Mm-hmm. Until you're like, wait a minute, hold on. I have literally back out. This is not for me. And some people, they know how to watch it and detach themselves from it. I have to be honest with myself. That's not me.
Yeah. I mean, there are times.
It's hard for me.
No, it's hard for me. And there are times where I'm over someone's house and they have the news on, and I'm just like, okay. I have to filter that shit out. And then sometimes sometimes the news will be on, playing in our gym, and I want to say something, but I'm just like, Christy, just ignore it, whatever.
Yeah, I had to. Wait.
Like, why is this playing now? Like, why? But
yes,
that, but then that just forces me. No, I don't want to say force, but that just makes me really protect my space. Like, I just have to really protect my space and be mindful of what I allow to come in.
But that's a lesson though for all of us, is to be mindful. And look, what did you say? I love this, what you said when we were talking, like, energetic. We were talking about the sex episode. Don't get these STDs, these sexually transmitted demons. So it's about your intake. What's your diet?
Yeah.
Not food necessarily. We're talking about your media intake.
Yeah.
What are you looking at on social media? Who are you allowing in your space?
Do you have that negative friend who's always bringing you down?
Man, always got something to... always have something negative to say, that you're all in, into... Now you've allowed them to transfer that energy to you, and now you're lower and feeling the type of way. They're feeling better, moved on, and then it's so much that. But so to be mindful of what you're taking in is another way that you can cope with. And so it's not, we're not promoting escapism just to be like, I close my eyes.
Oh no, like you have to know.
It's just being mindful of who you are. And being honest with who you are. So I know that there's only a certain point that I can go to.
Right.
And so I would literally, I have friends, and I'd be like, hey, y'all know I don't watch the news anymore. So when there's something I need to know, call me. Tell me to pay attention. You know what I mean? And this Citizen app. I don't know why, of all people in the world, I put this on my phone. Because literally everything. Because
she'll tell me, Christy, did you hear that there was a shooting 5 blocks from you, a carjacking over? I'm like, what?
Oh my! I mean, it is, and it'll make you feel like the world is coming to an end.
No, I can't do that.
You know what I mean? It's just, ooh. And so, but again, I have to be honest with myself. There's a threshold I can take where I have where. It's like, okay, I crossed the line. Now I'm in my whole feelings. Mm-hmm. And now I'm allowing this to take over me.
Yeah. And this is the reason why I don't have, like, a large circle of friends. Because I don't like gossip. I don't like dealing with, I don't, I mean, occasionally it's like, girl, did you see what she had on today? Or, hasn't she been working out 5 days a week?
I'm about to joke.
I mean, there is that occasional conversation. We are human.
It's not necessarily taking,
but it's not like an everyday thing.
But like something like this, when you're looking at the world, what is happening in the world that I live in? Like, did I really this is the fucking world I live in? And sometimes, especially as you get older, you see it more because you're a little bit wiser.
Especially if you have kids and you're like, what kind of world did I bring my child in?
Child.
But yeah, I definitely will. I mean, just to kind of circle back, I will say that coping and thriving, I'm able to cope and thrive is just by monitoring and really being very, very specific with what I allow into my space.
Yes. Like, you guys.
I am blissfully ignorant until someone tells me, hey, Christy, did you hear about the, kids starving over in,
You're like, God damn it. They're starving. Oh. And then sometimes you're like, what can I do? How can I help? And so I will say this. I think that part of the reason why we do this podcast is when we talk about raising the consciousness, I honestly, truly believe that as people accept and grow to love and learn on themselves, learn and love on themselves, that creates a ripple effect, because that affects how you treat people in your life. That affects how you see people. And so when you are allowing yourself to be joyous and just like, damn, I'm literally a God walking around this earth. It's especially, and you understand that everybody who's walking around here has that divinity in them. It allows you to say, oh, wait, to have compassion for someone who's acting outside of that divinity in them. Because you're like, oh, you just don't know that you're a God yet. Let me make sure I start telling people more who they are. So it does change things,
Yeah. And then even when people want to act stupid, it's like, do you even know who I am?
Like, right. Like, I'm not doing this, with you.
I'm not, no. I don't have time. I don't have the energy.
So you guys, 2021, we got some fun temple work for you, but I would say, Christy, what's your takeaway? What do you want people to remember?
So for 2021, I would say the main thing, or the main things that I want people to take away from this episode is to stay in the present and to control you.
Yep.
Focus on you. When you focus on you and you focus on how you react to situations and how you, like who you are, then everything around you will then kind of like line up and will be aligned with that. So that's my takeaway.
I would say that manage your expectations on what you expect in terms of the world to be, because it's a new year. That's
right.
one. The world is still the world. We're still dealing with what we're dealing with. However, every moment of the day, every day, I don't care if it's the middle of the year, September of the year, you have the opportunity to be new for yourself, to open your eyes and understand that anything that I want, when I break it down to what do I want it to do in my life, I can do that right now. Yep. And I think that's so damn powerful.
It's very powerful. And the thing is, you don't have to wait for the new year for it to happen. You don't have to wait for Sunday to come around. You can do it the next day. Like, a lot of people let me wait until Monday. I'm going to wait until Monday to start. I'm going to wait until Sunday. I'm going to wait until January.
I was the queen to wait for Monday to start. Especially a workout. Like, I'm going to start on Monday. I mean, the queen of I'm going to start on Monday on a workout. Baby, what?
Monday rolls around. I'll start next Monday.
Like, but I ate bad on Sunday night, so you know what? But like, real talking. Look, I know some people listening to this giggling their ass off.
Don't wait.
Like, yep, that's me.
Don't wait.
But it is, be aware of why you want the things that you want and what do you believe that they will bring in your life, and know what you can do to bring whatever that feeling, whatever that is in your life. You can do that now and watch what it attracts in your life.
Yeah.
So I would say that's the takeaway. Happy New Year, you guys.
Yeah, Happy New Year.
I mean, I know we all wanted. We were all waiting for 2021. Like, no, for real, 2020 is trash. So, bless you.
Bless you.
Oh
but God. I will also say, a lot of people are like, oh, 2021 is a continuation of 2020. And I think it's really important to check your mindset. Mm-hmm. It doesn't have to be a continuation of 2020 if you don't want it to be. And again, this is the power of choice, which we will talk about. But I think we are so quick to just grab onto something negative, like, oh, well, the rest of 2021 is going to be shit too.
Yep.
No, it doesn't have to be.
It doesn't.
It doesn't have to be. Okay.
It's literally whatever you want it to be.
Right.
Whatever you make it for yourself.
Oops. Yep.
So, you guys, temple work today. Dun, 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 dun. I'm excited.
Temple work.
So, people do vision board parties, which I'm a big fan of vision boards. Mm-hmm. I think being able to visualize your life is such a strong and powerful tool, because it gives you something to continue to look toward. And people make resolutions, but there's this thing that I started last year or a couple of years ago, and instead of necessarily doing resolutions, it was to take a sheet of paper, split it in half with a line down the middle, and you can do this in your journals, you guys. Trust me, you want this. You do it in your journals. What you do is, on one side, you write all the blessings, all the things where you thrived in 2020. Because when we were talking about earlier, sometimes in order to move forward, you need to look back and say, dang,
she did that.
What? I see you, queen.
Right.
Let me straighten up my crown. I'm being all tripping. I had to give myself credit. All the things that you enjoyed, that you love, places where you felt your power, where you felt yourself growing. Right? Yep. And on the other side, I don't want to say like positive and negative. We could say like blessings in your lessons. Times where you're just like, and be honest with yourself. I betrayed myself in this place, or, I thought that I wanted this, and when I went there, it wasn't this. Like, I was upset about this. Just allow yourself to be free in that moment. And, in the moments of the year of 2020, and it gives you a great assessment. It's like, it gives you like, oh my God, I have so much to be thankful for. Like, wow. So much to be thankful for. And this is the fun and the trick about it. When you look at the parts where you're just like, I didn't like this wasn't the best experience. When you really put this stuff down on paper and you're looking at it, it's like, damn, but I also am thankful for that too. Because that allows you, that side of the paper allows you to see where you grew, where you're stronger now. And so you're like, damn, I'm kind of a kind of beast mode out here.
I'm that bitch.
I'm kind of that bitch. Like, damn, like I got past this. Like I'm still here. I'm still like, you know what I mean? And so that allows you to see that growth. Like celebrate your wins, and it also allows you to look back and be like, damn, I did that. So I would encourage all of you guys to do this when you look back on 2020, because then it allows you to have what we'll call that fresh start. Like, look at what I've learned and look at all these blessings, and kind of walk into this year grateful and knowing that you have control over your own shit.
Yeah.
So that's the work for the week, you guys. That's your temple work.
Yay! And that is a really great assignment.
So I still have to do mine. So I told you, I'm keeping 100%. I was in my feelings. I'm better now.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because we didn't record last week.
I think it was.
Is that what it is? Because I'm like, I feel so much better now.
But it's funny because, so when you said, like, reflect back on the blessings and the lessons, I think it was last week, maybe I posted, and I was just sharing about, you know, sometimes starting over isn't necessarily a bad thing, because I had a fear about it. Like, oh, I'm going to have to pack up and I'm going to have to move and I'm going to have to start all over again. And as I was thinking about it, I was like, wow, you know, sometimes it's an inconvenience. It's like it's a small inconvenience, but on the other side of it, it's actually a larger blessing than you could have imagined.
Ooh,
and
it's so true.
It's true. And then it was in that moment where I realized, I was like, wow. And my guys showed me, like, you have been able to bounce back and come back even better and even stronger from every situation. Yes. So even though this is something that you've been avoiding and it's not something that you've been wanting, and it's an inconvenience and it's messy and it's all of that stuff.
Yeah, but damn, actually, when I think about it, it's actually kind of the jam. Real talk.
Yeah.
Yes.
So go back, reflect, think about those lessons.
It's a great exercise, and it's something when you are caught up, when you feel yourself being pulled under, like, you know, that undertow in the ocean. You're just like, wait a minute, hold on, I'm about to drown. It's something for you to go back and be like, let me once again go back and acknowledge how far I've come. You guys, I'm telling you, it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. And don't think that you were the only ones getting pulled in from the current, because I have been pulled too. Very recently. You know, we say we are a work in progress. I feel like I'm a broken record, but I mean, I have moments too. So, but stop and really think, like, okay, what have I been able to accomplish this year? What have I gone through this year? Where am I this year? And just really acknowledge those lessons and blessings, and you will see that you are that bitch.
You are that bitch.
You are that queen. Okay.
What's our crystal of the week, babe?
So the crystal of this week is blue kyanite, and I have it right here on the table. It's beautiful. So blue kyanite, it's good for the throat, third eye, and crown, and it's a versatile crystal with a lot of attributes. And so one of the benefits is that it's great for cutting through emotional ties and unhelpful beliefs. And so it also encourages honest communication, and both are wonderful qualities when starting something new. And so we're talking about a new year. We're not talking about a new you. We're talking about just really digging deeper into you. But when you're venturing into new beginnings, you need to be able to move forward without worrying about what others may think. We talked about that. Blue kyanite, with its earthy and calm nature, will help you do this while encouraging self-belief, which is always great when you're dealing with the new year, new opportunities. And it's also a stone of introspection, and so it'll help you understand why things have happened. And so with this clarity, you can take the lessons learned and move forward to bring new dreams into fruition. So start thinking about what you want 2021 to look like. Whatever happened last week does not mean that the rest of the year is going to be shit.
Girl, that's real talk. Please, for real. For real.
So think about what it is you want for the rest of the year. Focus on that. Focus on what you want, not what you don't want. And you guys already know how I meditate with my crystals. So Mia, have you had any experience with blue kyanite?
So
she has a big old slice of kyanite.
I have in my
it is beautiful.
In my living room, I have on my coffee table a really nice big piece of kyanite. As you guys, I've talked about, my home is basically my altar. And the reason I have that in my living room is because it's a very high vibrational stone, and it's great for balancing energy. And so, your living room is, kind of like where you spend a lot of your time, where, life happens in your home. And so, I honestly, if I guess, I don't know that I've necessarily meditated with it, but the blue kyanite is such a big part of my life. And I honestly feel like, and people who walk in my home like, oh my God, why
it's
the
very
energy
calming.
So calm?
Yeah,
it's such a
very
calming, home, and it's hard to stay in a funk, and it's a very balancing, high vibrational stone. So I'm a big fan of blue kyanite, and like I said, I got a nice big slab of it sitting in my front room. So I like it a lot, and I think it's a good stone for balancing energy. And it's one of those stones you can't put in water
right.
And because of where it is in my house, every full moon, I never have to move it. It always gets
it's so
cleansed,
beautiful.
and it's so pretty. It's such a beautiful blue, and it's gorgeous. I'm a fan.
Yeah,
and that's how I use it.
I love it. So, I mean, I don't work with it, actually. I mean, I think I may have meditated with it once.
That would look great in your crib.
Yeah.
It would, like, for real.
But it really just sits on my bookcase in my bedroom. But I love having the energy in my bedroom because it's just very calming.
That's
and
a great idea.
Because, like, my bedroom is, that is my place. Yes, my sanctuary. So I have it just sitting propped up, but it's just it's beautiful.
I think it's a great stone to have in your home.
Yeah, just got to be careful with it though.
So the message today, you guys, this is interesting. So there are a few things. One, that's been coming through all week for me is that this is not the time to lose hope. And I talked about that. I did this post about this. You guys, this is not the time to lose hope, because what happens when you lose hope is you kind of back yourself into a corner. So then you're just like, I don't have anything to lose. And when people feel like they have nothing to lose,
that's dangerous.
It's such a dangerous place, because you literally think about it. If I feel like I have nothing to lose, the way that I make decisions are based on, I'm not thinking about how it affects me, myself, my family, the collective. So it's not the time to lose hope, but it's the time to really dig in. And so know that you are anchored in love. I think our affirmation this week, we said, I am made of love and universal magic. So this is the time to embrace the fact that no matter what's going on outside of you, that your anchor, even if you have to sit still, because literally that's been such a good like they've been saying, Mia, just sit still. We got you. Just sit still. So know that even in that stillness, that you are anchored in love and you're surrounded in light. So the universe is pushing us all forward to know and love ourselves deeper and more than we ever have. And it's a clear path ahead for you, for whatever it is that you can control and you want. Okay? This time, the lessons that we've had over 2020, they've caused shifts in us. So shifts in us individually, which means there's shifts in the consciousness, in the collective. And so it shifted for all of us. And so you can see all that you need and you desire, but keep your heart open. Okay? Trust the spirit and the universe has your back. Excuse me, guys. I'm so sorry. And you can see, they want you to visualize what it is that you want for your life. And we talked about this a little bit earlier, just in terms of pay attention to why you want something and know that you can create that why right now. It might not be that $1 million home that you want right at this moment, but the feeling that you're going to have, that pride that I accomplished something, like, oh my God, I'm so worthy, that you can do right now. Okay? That it's an enlightenment. So when you are feeling a certain type of way and you just don't, and you feel the need to judge or you trigger for something, what helped me this week was this saying, seek to understand, not to be understood. And so when you look at it from a perspective of, I want to understand this, it allows you to have a certain amount of compassion. And I'm telling you guys, having compassion for people outside of this, you think, I don't agree with them, they're terrible, but having compassion for them, do you understand what that does for your energy level and how that elevates you as a person? Now, close your eyes, you guys. Take some time as you're going through your lessons and blessings in your tempo work. And as you're going through the life that you're creating for yourself, what do you see? Pay attention to what you see. And in your waking and walking life, pay attention to signs. Spirit is saying, baby, they are here so strong, so strong. They're speaking to us. They want to show you the way. They just want you to be open to it and say, I'm ready. Know that you are safe to be. You are safe to speak. It's so funny because I was over here coughing and we talked about this blue kind of owl, that's a throat chakra. It's like you're safe to speak, and those who need to hear what you have to say will get your message. Yep. So don't shut yourself off. Be authentically you and speak your truth, but they want you to speak it from a place of love and compassion and seeking understanding. Not just I want to get this out because I need people to hear me and understand me, and that's from a different place. And this is another thing, you guys. Laugh. Like, seriously, you guys, everything can't be serious all the time. And enjoy the moments, which means you have to be in the moment. Like right now, if you're listening to this, enjoy the moment. Be in the moment. Laugh at us, laugh with us, question this, and not thinking about, as soon as I'm done with this, what I have to do.
Right.
If you allow yourself to be in every moment while you're in that moment, that's transformational for your life. And it's like you see the world differently. So that's our message, you guys. Just know that you're safe and you're loved. And we got this, okay?
Yeah. And that's huge. Yes. But it's funny that you said that because I posted something like that either early this week or last week about being like authentic, like being your authentic self. And I'm going to share this. So when we hold back from being our authentic selves, are holding back our gifts.
Yes.
Because when
Christie,
it's the truth.
Real talk.
It is the truth. So when you are, being this person that you think you need to be or should be, you're not being your authentic self, which means that any gifts or the purpose that you are intended to live, you're not able to fulfill because those gifts and purpose are being held back because you are not aligned with your authentic self.
Come on.
And so that's huge.
Yes.
And you have to laugh. Like, 2021, be sillier. Do more of what's going to make you feel good. What's going to light you up. I think Rafaela says that a lot. Like, light you up.
I like that.
Or is it Jessica that says that? I think it's Jessica. Maybe I don't remember. It's one of them.
Great people around.
Yeah.
Us. Oh, my computer died. Can you tell them what we're talking about next week?
Oh, yeah. So, okay. So, first of all, as we are coming to a close, I want to thank you all for listening to Two Queens and Crystal Things. It is so nice to be back. Guys, continue to show us some love. We will show you some love back. We thank you for the support and thank you for everything.
Follow
Don't forget.
us on,
yes.
At Two Queens Crystal Things on IG.
Yep.
You can follow Christie at christie.r.edwards, and that's a Christie with an IE.
No dots, though. That's my email.
Oh, damn. Bad.
It's the one. It's okay. You guys know how to find me on Instagram.
Look, I'm like at Christie
just go to Two Queens and I'm
you'll be there.
tagged. I'm tagged.
You can follow me at Wings Unleashed
444.
We're just happy to be here and happy to serve, and
Right.
we enjoy being on this journey and accepting whatever may come, but knowing that we got this.
Yeah, and you have it too.
Exactly.
When I
say we, I meant the collective.
Yes.
We. Like, we all got this.
Yep.
Thank you guys. So what are we talking about next week?
So next week, oh my gosh, and I've been talking about this. So next week, I'm really excited about this. We are going to talk about the power of choice.
Man.
Because
Dang.
I'm not going to even go into it because
Okay.
I'll probably start talking.
It's so fun. No, seriously. Because it's
the power of choice.
The power of choice that we all have. Real talk.
Yes.
And we'll just say this. Remember we talked about controlling what you can control? We're going to go deeper into that.
Yes.
Yes.
So thank you all for listening to us. Peace.
And please make sure you like us, rate us. Share. Oh, and we forgot real fast. We are still holding our
self-mastery.
Package that we're doing. You get a healing session, a reading, oracle cards, crystal consultation. We are giving you guys the works. Go to our page and you can hit the book now button. We have several different packages to choose for, 3 different packages to choose from. Thank you to all of the women who have signed up so far. It's been a lot of fun, and we've gotten some awesome feedback, and it feels good to know that we're helping people kind of see themselves and move forward and giving you the tools to heal yourself. And that's really what we're about. Opening you up, awakening you to the power that you have to control your life. And that's what we're here for. So we love you guys.
Love you.
And we thank you.
Thank you.
See you guys next week.
Bye.
Night, night.